across the country. Tonight, the coronavirus task force has struggled to keep pace with the skyrocketing number of fatalities. Tonight, there is growing concern over exploding hotspots. In states like Michigan, Massachusetts, Louisiana, and New Jersey, tens of thousands of new cases are flooding emergency.
What's good, y'all? Kyle Loftus here, and today we are gonna talk about how you can film yourself better. So without further ado, let's jump into 5 easy to implement tips and techniques you can utilize to better film yourself. Tip number 1, use a tripod. We want to utilize a tripod because it is going to give us stable images. It is going to allow us to get varying angles and heights. And again, it's going to give us a very stabilized image that then we can mess around with in post and utilize things like Ken burns and other various effects. Another great reason you want to utilize a tripod when filming yourself is it's going to hunker down your camera. It's gonna lock it down and keep it in place, which is really, really important for one, getting that smooth, stabilized, and level image. But it's also gonna be really, really helpful when you're in places with not necessarily the best terrain. For instance, if you have unlevel surfaces, or maybe you're dealing with a lot of wind issues, you wanna have a solid tripod that's gonna keep your camera locked down, and that way you don't have to worry about blowing over while you're 30 feet away getting in position for the shot. Tip number 2, use an on-camera monitor like I'm using right now. I'm able to utilize this to watch myself and make sure, one, the image looks clean. You know, I can utilize things like false color and other various effects like focus peaking, histograms, vector scopes, audio meters, all these different things I'm able to utilize and watch on my monitor right now, so I know I'm in focus, my audio is not peaking, the image looks level, false color, you know, I know that I'm not overexposed, and I know shadow side is not underexposed. It allows for great opportunity to do those things. Additionally, you want an on-camera monitor because you need it to flip out so you can see yourself within the frame and composition. This is very, very important. If you don't have this, it is going to take drastically longer to frame up your shots because you're literally looking at the image, running around, jumping in front of the camera, going back to the camera, adjusting, jumping back in front of the camera, and going back and forth just like that. Additionally, having an on-camera monitor helps finesse the focus. I really like having the on-camera monitor because first I like to get my focus as close as possible, and then I get myself into the actual physical position within the scene, and then I look at the monitor and I'm able to say, okay, I need to finesse it and make a little tiny adjustment here on the focus. It's a little soft. And so I can easily make those adjustments, but without an on-camera monitor, or an external monitor, you know, that would be insanely difficult to do. Tip number 3, use a stand-in. Now, as you're seeing with this footage overlaying here, I utilized a stand-in, or what appears to you guys to be a tripod. Now, a stand-in typically is a person, but essentially what a stand-in does is they act in place of the actor or the talent. So they literally stand in place, so the camera operator can level out the shot, you know, figure out the exact height it needs to be, get that balance, lock the camera in place, find the focus, and then bam, we are good to go. We're ready to speed camera. Using a stand-in allows me to gather an extremely accurate focus. Then I get in place in the actual physical scene, and then I use the on-camera monitor, my external monitor, to finesse my focus. You know, using a stand-in is so key because without one, again guys, literally you would be guessing your focus, jumping to the scene where you're supposed to stand. Okay, this is wrong. Go back to the camera, finesse the focus a little more, go back. Like you would just, it's a constant back and forth, but an extremely mundane, time-consuming one. So utilize a stand-in. It's extremely easy. I recommend a tripod, or you can use a light stand. They're both extremely cheap and affordable online. So a great way to save yourself a ton of time reshooting things is to shoot with an extra little cushion in the frame. So tip number 4, shoot with an extra little cushion. And so what I mean by that is, say, you know, this exact image you're seeing right now in camera, you know, is the exact look you want. Well, I would recommend pushing out just a little bit wider and getting a little bit of extra breathing room around the ends. And the reason I recommend that is because it allows you a lot more versatility in post-production, which is so important when you're filming yourself. For instance, you can utilize Ken burns. If you haven't heard those before, you can essentially simulate motion, so you can make what was a static image have a little movement and have some life to it. So you can utilize Ken burns, you can push in and out, you can scale all the way in to create an entirely different look. There's a lot of versatility you can do in post-production, so that's why I highly recommend shooting with an extra little cushion. It's definitely been my saving grace a time or two. Tip number 5, be authentic. The easiest character for you to portray is yourself. Now, if you have a passion for acting like myself, then go for it. Play different roles, act out different personalities, have fun with it. But if you're typically just a videographer or a filmmaker, you're just looking to do tutorial videos, you don't have a passion for acting, you don't feel comfortable in that world, just be authentic, be yourself. That is the easiest person to portray because it is you. That's it, y'all. Those are my 5 tips and techniques for filming yourself better. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, drop it below. Be sure to hit the post notification somewhere up there. Got new videos coming every single week. And I'll see y'all then. I'm Kyle Loftus, signing out.